Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we escaped from this completed Going Green facility. We did so mainly via ultraviolence. We managed to get into this area, take some tools from primarily the fruit orchard, but just the farms in general, and then jumped over this fence somehow automagically, and then worked our way through here, turning the power off, taking out anyone that stops us, and a couple of attempts later we managed to get in security and in the armory. So we did all that, and yeah, that there is a tile that is definitely... No, it is staff only. Yeah, so that is staff only, that section. Curious. Anyway, you can see that danger level is high and rising because of reasons that I'm not entirely sure about, but this is the Extreme Testing Initiative, where we put the prison through its paces and subject it to certain events and stimuli that you wouldn't necessarily see occurring naturally. If we go over to our staff here, we now have a couple of options. We have an instant calm, instant fight, instant jailbreak, instant riot, and the Sambot Special. This is a mod that is available in the Steam Workshop. Sambot Special, I think, is the name of that. Actually, I think it's called. Let's have a quick look, because people always ask what we have there. The mod is called the Instant Riot mod. There we go. And let's go ahead. There's multiple mods available for riots and fighting. That's the one I've used historically, so we'll stick with it. So this is where we're going to basically set the prisoners to do something. We'll try a fight, a jailbreak, a riot, and then the Sambot Special, which is ludicrous. So let's go for an instant fight, and we place that, and then basically every single prisoner in the facility, their goal is to try and fight. So we expect a lot of people to be taken out, a lot of deaths, and yet you can see all the prisoners are fighting, not just themselves, like each other prisoners, but also they are fighting the guards, and the chief is calling, and it's talking about spiritual leaders. Yeah, I think we could probably put the phone down and say, look, we've got other things on. You can see a lot of the prisoners have fought and are now just working. Are they actually working their way towards the exit? Some of them... Oh, that's person's released. I thought they were running towards the exit. That is not the case. The fighting there has pretty much been put down. No, we've still got a couple of fights, and this person here actually has an axe. No longer. The axe is there, you can see. And that is fairly calm. There's been loads of prisoners who have been stopped. These are low-risk prisoners. They don't really have much fight in them. So as soon as they get hit, they just want to be out. Or just want to stop. So that's exactly what's happened there. A lot of prisoners just fought and then immediately stopped. I could put that on again. Let's try that again. So over to staff, instant fight, click. And then you can see immediately all the prisoners are once again starting to fight. But because the low risk, which indicates, you know, is a general indication of them not having a lot of really very strong traits towards violence. So deadly, strong. Oh, a riot underway. We have 11 prisoners who are rioting and then less. Now it's going down 9. Where they're rioting at? Not entirely sure where they're rioting at. 8. It's slowly going down. Oh, yeah, they're taking over this cell block by the look of it. Lovegrove. A couple of prisoners in here. Ainsley, etc. But you can see even the prisoners that were in here and had a fight, they have not managed to make it out. They were just sort of knocked out, and that's about it. So, if this was to go really wrong, then you can see it's not really a big problem with the type of prisoners we've got here. But what would happen if they all tried to run out with the instant jailbreak? Let's find out, shall we? So once again, loaded back up to the same time in the same sort of scenario and also regime. Let's go ahead and go to staff and instant jailbreak, click. And what happens is every single prisoner wants to escape. So instead of just fighting the person who is next to them, their job is to try and escape. And in this particular case, you can see naturally they are focused on the front door. This is our main reception here. You can see a lot of them are coming through the visitation. A lot of them are now working through the main way in and out and through the reception and then through the front door. Now obviously I haven't told the guards to do anything in terms of stopping the prisoners. You can see prisoner Lim there is working their way out and they're now running up. In fact, they're probably trying to stop these prisoners here who have managed to get to the end, but obviously the road gate has stopped them. And oh, hang on, that's curious. So this is prisoner Victor Toro, who was fighting over there and probably trying to get out, but as soon as they got a pair of shears, they're now heading the opposite way, which is very strange. There is all of the prisoners here who have been stopped. We have more prisoners who are still running towards this exit, but none of them are trying to get out over this fence. None of them are coming through this area, which is what we did in a previous episode. And it seems that, yeah, once they have the odd little hit on them, they want to stop. They just immediately surrender and give up. And without any orders, we can see that basically the prisoners have ceased their activities and are not trying to escape. And that bag is transparent. Semi-transparent. Yeah, we've got these wide open. And that... yeah, we can open up and they're not going to escape. So once again, it was fairly uneventful. We do have some prisoners who have managed to get to past the first door, but I believe that door was opened anyway by a guard, so yeah, not much of a fight. But again, quite secure. However, what happens when they just want to riot and smash the place up? Not now, Chief. Okay, so this time we shall see what happens if all of the prisoners decided to riot. This is 103 prisoners at the moment. The capacity is 168, but we didn't bring many more prisoners in. But you can see that now it's immediately starting to riot. 75 prisoners are currently rioting. Obviously, they'll be rioting in wherever they're standing. So there are a lot of riots in the flower garden, which you can see people are attacking each other. Some of them might have reputations like snitches or... the Chief loves calling us. Yeah, snitches or ex-law enforcement. Looks to be the common room is the one that's been taken over, followed by cell block A, a little bit of that. The chapel, as well as the shop and the classroom has also been taken. Oh, and also the workshop down the bottom here, where we can see people have started to steal things. So, Envoy has nicked, it looks like a shank, or they've got a shank. Cantlow has managed to get themselves a clipboard, probably off the foreman that's there. We have 5 deaths in the facility so far, and looks like, oh, there's a prisoner there. Ow has got a taser. So they're just trying to take territory. The gymnasium is also being taken over, as is the laundry. But slowly and surely, the guards are starting to stop this. Yeah, the territory itself is not being taken in any meaningful way. Looks like we got Hay with a pair of shears, Tortil with a hand fork, another one there at the top left. Seagull's also got a pair of shears, and good grief, can you hear that? What's going on there? I think this guard is trying to do something, and they're constantly getting... What is happening? They're constantly getting alerted to something, but they just... they cancel it. Oh, there's a prisoner was originally over the fence and is now legging it to grab a baton, and now hitting this guard. McLean! Okay. He's gonna probably die hard here. Looks like we got Paul Barsby hitting him with a set of keys. McLean is injured, although McLean is normally injured all the time. Use their taser, you can see it flashing there, indicates it's on cooldown, and now being knocked unconscious. But because these are low-risk prisoners and not with particularly aggressive traits, they're not going to follow up on that one. We have not got any prisoners trying to get out. As I said, this is a riot, so their whole point is just to fight. So, yeah, I could probably speed it to max speed and see what occurs. Oh, looks like the cell block, well, technically cell block C because it's the third one we built, but this cell block here has now had the middle taken control of. And also, a lot of guards have tried, I do say tried, to stop the people rioting in the flower garden. They've not successfully done that. There's still prisoners fighting there, and even though these guys have got keys, they are not following it up. That's weird. Look at that. So they're picking the keys up and then dropping them, picking them up and dropping them. What is that all about? Very weird. Very weird. But that's still 25 rioting. But again, we haven't set any guards to go anywhere to stop the riot. Eventually, the prisoners will most likely eventually be stopped because the guards will get healed, they'll come back. Although the riot's continuing. If we continue with the riot for so long, we will get a call off the CEO. Yeah, prison is out of control. And if we don't stop it, then the National Guard come in and stop it for us. We have, I believe it's a total of 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours to do so. And I'm not going to tell the guards to do anything in particular. We've now got 12 prisons rioting, down to 11 there. But we are low on guards. Oh, we have 26 regular guards. Down to 11. I think the National Guard is going to be coming in. And that will be a failure state. Admittedly, this was initiated by us. And I haven't tried to stop it. But let's see what happens if you don't stop the riot. I have a feeling we might have a glitch with this thing here, but let's see. Failure. Failed to control the riot. Government has revoked your prison contract. Now sending in the National Guard to retake the prison. And if you're wondering how the National Guard retake a prison, well, we're about to find out. We have these trucks coming down. Troop truck. We have 2 troop trucks. 3, 4, 5. It goes on. These come along just like any other truck and go, go, go. They all jump off and for some reason start heading up and then back down again. Okay, so they open the door. They have a set of keys. And they're now going to stop the riot. You can see they're all armed with fully automatic weapons. And they are working their way in the facility. Where they're working? Well, they're basically just spread out. And anyone that isn't cuffed, well, this is pretty much what happens. There's Bailey. They're going to ask him politely to stop doing what he's doing. And apparently they're going to stand around doing nothing. That is not the usual behaviour for these soldiers. Normally it would be a tad bit more violent than that. And what are they trying to do? Bailey is literally standing in between about 12 guards, I think. The soldiers, sorry. And they're punching the jail door and the radiator and whatever. And the National Guard are doing, I think the term is diddly squat. I cannot initiate any orders. Well, I can initiate orders with the armed guard. I can tell them to move. Can I sack them? I can also apparently sack them, even though I'm no longer in control. Okay, that is weird. Well, you probably have seen it before, but normally what they do is start shooting and don't stop shooting until the riot's finished. But they've taken the territory and they're not firing. That is some sort of glitch, and I don't know whether it's the mod or whether it's the game. Either way, very, I think, height of anticlimactic there, but what isn't anticlimactic is this. Weapons can be a problem, specifically if people get to the armory and take it while trying to escape or riot or, well, mainly just misbehave in general. However, what would happen if every single prisoner was suddenly armed with some sort of weapon? In this particular case, we are talking about, well, I guess shotguns, we have clubs, we've got revolvers, we have drills, which are classed as a weapon, and also these sort of semi-automatics. Sorry, these are fully automatic sort of SMGs, and you can see that basically it kicks off. Every single one of them is fighting, and because they are armed, they are very, very deadly. But this, now, you have to sort of check, what are they going to do? Well, mainly shoot open doors, but are they trying to escape? It looks like that's exactly what's happening. We've got a lot of people at the front here who are trying to get out, and a lot of family members that are, I'm guessing, absolutely terrified on what's happened. Yeah, and we have prisoners who are running out. There we have a prisoner. This is a very fast prisoner, actually. Extremely strong and quick. Yeah, they are now legging it towards here and basically stopping a dog and hitting the road gate. We have an escape. Yeah, there's a door open down the bottom. That was just open because of the automatic bit. But we also have this now opened as well. But we managed to stop a lot of the inmates there. But because one of these doors is now open, we now get this alert to say that this prisoner is basically trying to escape. They have found a way to get out, and they are trying to do that. What's curious is that, once again, even though we have a completely made-up scenario, this cannot happen naturally within the prison environment unless you put an armory in the middle completely open, which even then, the prisoners wouldn't all run and pick up weapons straight away. They've managed to start fighting, get through here. A couple have escaped, but without any intervention, we've managed to stop things. Obviously, there has been some injuries and some fatalities, but Chief again, spiritual leader. Yeah, we've had a lot of injuries and fatalities. 15, not 17 up to now, and only a couple of escapes. But we've not told them to do anything else. We haven't done a lockdown, closed all the gates. We haven't used our emergencies and called in riot police or fire engines or paramedics. Obviously, we don't have air elite ops or firefighters because we don't have any helicopters. But there they are. That is fairly secure, I would say. If we only have a couple of escapes and that many fatalities when everybody's armed, I think we can safely say that this is secure. I mean, it's full of contraband, as the game keeps reminding us. Oh yeah, weapons, the supply of weapons is high. What a surprise, everybody's armed with one, or at least was. Yeah, so overall, that has been, well, it's a combination of trying to figure out where the weak spots are, where prisoners run to when certain events trigger, and also just a complete mess about to see what would happen under extreme circumstances, this being the Extreme Testing Initiative. And overall, I'm going to mark that as fairly successful. We could potentially add in a road barrier, which would add even more security to people getting out. So if people were trying to get out that way, we'd road barrier it and they wouldn't be able to run out as fast there. We could put more patrols. We could probably get some armed guards. If we had armed guards but only have them outside on this road, they wouldn't give that suppression effect, which means that, yeah, suppression effect really good for the danger level, but the problem is that it actually affects things like reform and learning and such like that. So it's not something I wanted in a low-risk facility. But having them out here, we didn't even need to have like sniper towers or guard towers or anything, just have them out here. If anyone tried to escape, they would be persuaded to turn around and go back in. Either way, that's been a bit of Prison Architect and the Extreme Testing Initiative, and that would be the completion of our Going Green DLC series. Like I said at the last sort of part of the build episode, I am up for looking back at this and maybe changing things around if need be. Expansion, I'm hesitant to do so and still am, because it would just be more farms. That's all it would really be. There's nothing else we could really do. I mean, I'd probably put the odd other thing in there. We may go for some forestry. We may put in probably some, most likely a holding cell, but other than that there wouldn't be much more. Probably some laundry actually. But overall it's been quite an interesting series, and hopefully it's been enjoyable for yourself. If you want to see another series of Going Green, then by all means let me know, and also if that is the case, what sort of focus would you like? I personally would probably go for a lot of automation. We could also mix that in with other DLCs and options as well. So just for example, we could go with, say, like a lunar plot. We could go with islands. We could also go with gangs, criminally insane if you wanted to as well, although I'm not particularly fond of that mode, where we could go, I know people have expressed a interest and go with different prisoner set, and also maybe even look at some mutators. Personally, I'm probably going to, next time, not have events on and not have weather and temperature. Everything else pretty much is open. Oh, we could also do cleared for transfer, but, you know, it's really just up to our whims and what we really fancy. Either way, pop them in the comments, and we'll see what happens with the next episode and series. Hope you have enjoyed it overall, and thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.